Well, damn. Hey guys, it's me, Waifu Belector, the only fair human on Earth, and Naughty Dog's The Last of Us multiplayer game, The Last of Us Online, is officially cancelled. Straight from the horse's mouth, Naughty Dog put out a statement, which I will read later, to let us all know that this thing is in the trash. And it's a bit shocking, but it's not like there weren't clues along the way. The Last of Us Online's development was known to be troubled in the past, but how did this happen, and what does it mean, if anything? Over the past year or so, PlayStation has made clear that they have plans to make a push into the multiplayer and live service markets. During this time, they even went on a bit of a hiring spree of gathering people who could help in that endeavor. Like hiring the man once responsible for Fortnite's battle passes and monetization. They also acquired Bungie within that period, seemingly almost solely for their expertise in the area of multiplayer and live service. And this PlayStation multiplayer plan continued to unfold before our eyes, with the multiplayer game set in the world of The Last of Us leading the charge, followed by a multiplayer Horizon game revealed to be in development, and a plan to release 12 multiplayer live service titles in the next couple of years. Sony and PlayStation seemed to be all in and going big. The Last of Us Online was even promised to be as large scale and as detailed as any of Naughty Dog's single player games. It was even said that it would have its own story missions or story elements interwoven into the multiplayer. It all sounded very ambitious, but as I said, this PlayStation plan was unfolding and being revealed to us over the course of about a year or so. And sure, PlayStation had plans, but those plans began to crumble. Possibly for a couple of reasons. You know, the rhetoric from a loud but I think minority subset of gamers that all live service games are horrible, that never stopped. But more importantly, the gaming industry is still coming down from the COVID high. When everyone was in lockdown, they were consuming more media, including playing more games. So a lot of studios and dev teams hired like the COVID surge of engagement was gonna hold forever. But they didn't only hire for a future that didn't exist, they planned for one. A future with lockdown engagement levels means we need 12 live service games to soak up all that engagement. But that future, as it turns out, doesn't exist. So you then get an announcement about how 6 of those 12 live service titles have been axed completely. Then we hear that the guys from Bungie looked over The Last of Us Online and said it wasn't up to snuff and the game's indefinitely on ice. Until we finally arrive here, where Naughty Dog has put out a statement confirming the cancellation of The Last of Us Online. I'll save you some reading and explain what they wrote in their statement. Their reason for canceling the game was because the work and attention it would take to turn it into the ambitious behemoth of a game they had planned, as well as continuing to follow it up with constant post-launch content, would just be too much to do without their single-player game suffering. So they had a choice between being a strictly live service dev team that basically only works on The Last of Us Online for their foreseeable future, or they get back to what they're known for and continue churning out high-quality single-player narrative adventures. They chose the latter, and so The Last of Us Online will never be. Honestly, I'm not too broken up about this game's cancellation because I'm just not really all that into The Last of Us, but I thought if anybody could pull off such an ambitious sounding multiplayer game, Naughty Dog probably could. And it sounds like they could, but decided not to. Probably for the sake of variety and the happiness of the devs. Or that could just be a cover and it sounds better than saying our game was kinda trash and not fun. I mean, if the gaming news articles are to be believed, Bungie all but said as much. And it kinda wouldn't surprise me all that much if that were true, because gameplay is so secondary to Naughty Dog. They just want to make movies. Post Uncharted, I think they really only made one game with actually fun gameplay, and it was The Last of Us Part 2. So I wouldn't find it all that shocking if they couldn't make the game feel sustainably fun. But then again, Naughty Dog are great at their craft, and if they really put their minds to it, it still feels like it would make sense to see them make this very fun, very ambitious game. I could see both sides existing is what I'm trying to say, but we'll never know if the reasons they gave for the cancellation are true or just a cover. However, if it is true that they simply made a decision to step away from the live service path despite being capable, I think that's a beautiful thing, and I think it would say something positive about how PlayStation Studios operates. If studios and dev teams really have a degree of freedom to work on what they want and are passionate about, rather than being forced to make a live service multiplayer game even when you don't want to, if Naughty Dog was truly given the freedom to decide to step away rather than the game being shut down because it was looking like a bust, then that's really cool. And you know what? Naughty Dog also mentions that the work they put into this game wasn't all for nothing and that it'll serve them well in future projects. So who knows, maybe you'll get a multiplayer component to an all new Naughty Dog IP. This cancellation isn't the end of the world. PlayStation just put all their eggs in one basket, that being the live service basket, and just as the wicker starts to look a little flimsy, we see them trying to grab some of their eggs before the basket breaks. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens to the Horizon multiplayer game going forward, if that still happens or if it's already been canceled internally. PlayStation's in a weird place of trying to walk back this rollout, or at least some of it, and I can't lie, it's kind of fascinating. Anyway though, that's all from me. Let me know what you guys think of all this mess down in the comments. Please like the video if you enjoyed and consider subscribing. I really appreciate it, but until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and since this game is canceled, I guess I'll just keep playing Fortnite. Goodbye.